بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم رب اشرح لی صدری ویسر لی امری واحلل عقدۃ من لسانی یفقہوا قولی بسم اللہ الذی لا یضر مع اسمہ شیء فی الارض ولا فی السماء وهو السمیع العلیم. My dear students of first year MBBS, we were talking about the basic tissues, and I have told you that in first year MBBS we will study these four basic tissues. The first is the epithelium, the second is the connective tissue, third is the muscular tissue, and the fourth one is the nervous tissue. We have read the connective tissue, and now I am going to tell you about the muscular tissue. Muscular tissue is one of the very important tissues in the body, the most abundant tissue in the body. Our muscles, they have got the contractile properties. These are the cells which are actually modified in such a way that they have got the property of contractility. These are special cells. In the cytoplasm of these cells there are actin and myosin filaments which are known as the myofilaments, and these are the contractile elements. As regards the muscular tissue is classified into three types according to whether the striations are present or not. We have got the morphological classification. There are striated muscles, there are non-striated muscles. The striated muscles are the muscles which have got striations over the surface. When we see under the microscope, these muscles, they are having the alternating darker and lighter areas, that is the A bands and I bands, while the smooth muscles which have got no these striations over the surface, their surface is smooth. The striated muscles are further, they are divided into the skeletal muscles and the cardiac muscles. Skeletal muscle, as the name indicates, these are the muscles which are related with the skeleton. They are attached with the bony tissue. And then we have got the cardiac muscle, as the name indicates. These are the muscles of the heart. They are forming the myocardium. And smooth muscles are the muscles which are present in all the hollow viscera and the blood vessels, where they regulate the lumen of the blood vessels by vasoconstriction and vasodilatations. As regards the muscle functions, the movement, skeletal, cardiac and smooth muscles, they are performing different types of movements in the body. Then the stability is one of the functions of the muscle. Our body is stable on the behalf of the skeletal muscles which are attached with the bony tissues. And then communication is also, it is one of the functions of the skeletal muscles. Control of the body opening and messages, and control of body openings and passages. The skeletal and the smooth muscles, as I have told you last time, that there are sphincters present at different openings, and these are nothing but these are the circular strengthened muscles which are forming the sphincters. As we have got the cardiac sphincter, we have got the cricopharyngeal sphincter, we have got the anal sphincter, we have got the vaginal and urethral sphincters. Then heat production, it is also one of the functions of the skeletal muscle. The properties of the muscle cells, which are specialized cells, they have got the property of excitability and conductivity, and they have got the contractility, but that is the ability to shorten substantially. And then we have got extensibility, they are able to stretch between the contractions. And their elasticity, ability to return to original length after stretching. So these are the different developed properties in these types of the cells. These are actually the cells which are developing, and they are evolving in such a way that they have got all these type of properties. So let's talk about the skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscles are very long muscles, and these muscles are cylindrical. We call these the muscle fibers. Actually the muscle cell is the myocyte, but because the muscle fibers they are known as the muscle fibers because they are very long and cylindrical cells. And as regards the skeletal muscles are multinucleated, because during the development the hundreds of myoblasts, they combine together and they gives rise to a single skeletal muscle. The myoblasts, they coalesce and unite together. Each and every myoblast brings its own nucleus, and when they combine together they gives rise to a multinucleated cell. So the skeletal muscles are 10 to 100 microns in diameter, and these are 100 or 200 microns to 4 centimeters in length. This is second in length. The largest or the longest cell in the body is the neuron. I have told you that the neurons can extend up till the 100 centimeter. A neuron which is coming from the neurons are coming from the spinal cord, and they are then running in the sciatic nerve and entering into the limb and reaching the toe. And similarly, some neurons which are the Golgi type 1 neurons, they are coming out from the cortex, and they are then running in corticospinal tracts and reaching the spinal cord. So these are very long cells, but the skeletal muscles are number 2 in length. That is, skeletal muscle can attain a length of 4 centimeters even, and this depends on the muscle. For example, in the middle ear we have got a muscle which is known as the stapedius, which is a few millimeter, but if we talk about the sartorius, the strap muscles of the leg, they can be, their fibers are in centimeters in length. So I was talking about the length of these muscles, and the muscle fibers which are the skeletal muscles, they have got the alternating darker and lighter areas. You can see these A bands and I bands, A bands and I bands. This is the reason we call these striated muscles. And the nuclei of these cells, they are lying at the periphery. These are multiple nuclei, so a skeletal muscle fiber is a multinucleated cell, and their nuclei are lying at the periphery, and it contains the striations which are the alternating darker and lighter areas, that is the A bands and I bands. And when we see under the higher magnifications, you will find that the skeletal muscles are having the longitudinal striations also, because in the cytoplasm there are myofibrils. Muscle fiber is made up of myofibril, and myofibrils in return, they are made up of the myofilaments, and these myofilaments are the actin and myosin filaments. The actin filaments are the thin filaments, and the myosin filaments are the thick filaments. So I was telling you, these cells are long and cylindrical in shape. These are multinucleated. There are cross striations present. They are the cells which are under the voluntary control. Another classification of the muscles is according to its physiology, that is the function, that the muscles are voluntary and involuntary. For example, the skeletal muscles, we can move our muscles by our own will, but the involuntary muscles, like the muscles of the heart and the muscles of the viscera, they are not under our control, but rather we are sleeping and our heart is beating and the intestine is moving all the time. They are 24 hours at duty, and they are under control of the autonomic nervous system. There is automatic transmission of the impulses. Contractile proteins, actin and myosin, are present in these muscle cells. And then let's talk about the there are certain terms which are being used while we describe the muscles. For example, the cell membrane of the muscle is known as the sarcolemma, the cytoplasm is known as the sarcoplasm, the endoplasmic reticulum is called the endoplasmic reticulum is called the sarcoplasmic reticulum, and there are sarcomeres. So all these we will study later on. Connective tissue and the fascicles. This is the topic in which I will tell you that the inner skeletal muscle, the muscle body, when a muscle is named, this muscle, the belly of the muscle is made up of the muscle fibers, and these muscle fibers are present in the form of the bundles which are known as the fasciculi. Many fasciculi unite together to give rise to a belly of the muscle, which is then known as the biceps or triceps or the deltoid muscle. And the muscle fibers, they are surrounded by a membrane, very thin membrane called the endomysium, which is areolar connective tissue covering the each muscle fiber, binding it to its neighbors. And then the whole of the fascicle, that is the bundle, is surrounded by perimysium, which is dense irregular connective tissue, and it covers the fasciculi of the, and around this body of the or the belly of the muscle we have got another covering which is of dense irregular connective tissue, and that is surrounding the entire of the muscle. We call it epimysium. Here you can see in this diagram, this is the formation of a muscle. This is a single muscle fiber, and the muscle fiber, you can see this is the muscle fiber which is made up of the myofibrils. So there are longitudinal striations seen when we see under the higher magnifications, and these myofibrils, they are again made up of the actin and myosin filaments. And in the skeletal muscle, these actin and myosin filaments are arranged in a very regular and fashionable manner, and that is known as the sarcomere. Sarcomere is the basic fundamental structural and functional unit of the or the contractile unit of the skeletal muscle. And in the whole muscle you can see this is the fasciculus, and these fascicles, these are the myofibrils, and myofibrils made this muscle fiber. Then muscle fibers join together to give rise to this fasciculus, and many fasciculi, they combine together to give rise to this belly of the muscle. And then these fibers, which are the white fibers, they then descend down to form a tendon, and this is the deep fascia which covers the tendon, known as the epitendinium and epimysium. And epitendinium is it is continuous, and this is the perimysium. Epimysium, perimysium, endomysium is very vascular. You can see a lot of blood vessels. These are this is an artery, this is a vein, and this is a nerve fiber. So all the muscle is supplied by these blood vessels which are running through these connective tissue membranes, because the connective tissue is the tissue which supplies the blood vessels, which supplies the nourishment to the tissues. Now let's talk about, there are intrinsic and extrinsic muscles. Muscles are at times grouped as to the regions where they are found and function. Intrinsic muscles are localized to a specific area, that is hand, tongue, back. They function and are contained only within that area. Then their extrinsic muscles extend into other areas and are responsible for movement of areas other than where they are attached. Now the terms, let's explain these terms. Sarcolemma is the plasma membrane covering the each muscle. Sarcoplasm is the muscle cell cytoplasm. Thick filaments are the contractile proteins. Myosin, which are 12 to 15 nanometers in diameter, shaped like a golf club head. Thin filaments slide over thick filaments but do not shorten. Then we have got the thin filaments, which are the actin filaments. These are the contractile protein molecules, also contain the regulatory proteins tropomyosin and troponin. And the thin filaments are 5 to 7 nanometers in diameter. Here you can see the Z lines. Let's talk about the sarcomere. You will see that in a sarcomere, here you can see that these are the thick filaments, that is the myosin filaments, and myosin filaments arranged in this form, and they are depicted in the picture. When light passes through they are seen to be the anisotropic band, that is the A band, and in between, interdigitating between these myosin filaments are present these thin filaments, that is the actin filaments. And you can see that these actin filaments are stopping here, and there is a, when we see under the microscope, that is the electron microscope, when light passes through, the non-overlapping of the actin filaments is depicted in the picture in the form of just H zone, and you can see these actin filaments of both sides, they are joined together at this place, and this is depicted in the picture in the form of the Z disc or the Z line. So in the lighter I band, in between, that is in the middle of the lighter I band, there is a dark line which is known as the Z line, and in the middle of the darker A band there is a lighter H area, and the distance between these two Z lines is known as the sarcomere. This is one sarcomere. So thin filaments and the thick filaments, you can see the arrangement in the sarcomere, and these sarcomeres are actually these are the contractile units. This is the basic fundamental structural and functional unit of the striated muscle. And striations, that is the A band and I band, is seen because of the presence of these sarcomeres. And sarcomeres are present in both the skeletal as well as in the cardiac muscles. And this type of fashionable and organized arrangement of actin and myosin filaments is missing in the smooth muscles. As I will go to the smooth muscle, I will tell you the arrangement of the actin and myosin filaments in the smooth muscle. Let's talk about the cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscles are the muscles of the heart. They are forming the myocardium, and they are characterized by the cross striations, so they are included in the striated muscles. The very important and distinct feature of the cardiac muscle is the presence of an intercalated disc. I will tell you the cardiac muscles are also cylindrical, but these are small in size because their diameter is 15 microns, and their size, their length is 10 to 100 microns. They are 10 to 100 microns in length and 14 to 15 microns in diameter. They have got a single nucleus which is present in the center of the cell. It is oval in outline with a very prominent nucleolus. Sometimes some of the muscle fibers, they are binucleated, and this muscle is also composed of the same contractile proteins as are present in the skeletal muscle. So this is the cardiac muscle. Can you see the cardiac muscles are the cylindrical muscles? This is the junction of, at the junction of the two cardiac muscles there is a step ladder like pattern. This is a thickened portion, and this thickened line, which is irregular step-wise step ladder like line, is known as the intercalated disc. Sandwiched, intercalated means sandwiched between the two cardiac muscles is present a thickening which is 0.1 to 1 micron in thickness, and this is actually nothing but this is a very complex junctional, very complicated. It is what is intercalated disc? Intercalated disc is present inside, in between the two cardiac muscles. At the junction of the two cardiac muscles there is an intercalated disc, which is a thick line seen under the microscope in the form of a step ladder pattern, and it is made up of very specialized junctional complexes. It is the combination of the desmosomes, the tight junctions and the gap junctions, and here lies the oval nucleus. This is the oval nucleus, which is single and present in the center of the cells. And again you can see the sarcomeres, that is the A bands and I bands, and this is the cardiac muscle. Again you can see the sarcolemma. The cardiac muscle has got the mitochondria. A lot of lipofuscin granules are present in the cytoplasm. Nucleus is very prominent, oval in outline with a very prominent nucleolus in it. These are the desmosomes which are forming the intercalated disc. Again endomysium and the perimysium. Smooth muscles. Let's talk about the smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are the muscles which are spindle shaped cells. They have got two tapering ends, and there is a central thicker portion which contains a single nucleus, which is also present in the center of the cells. These muscle fibers are fusiform in shape, and these are involuntary. They are present in the walls of the hollow viscera, and they are forming the walls of the blood vessels and the glands. These are the smooth muscles. You can see the smooth muscles. These are spindle shaped cells. When we see the smooth muscles in combination, they are forming the bands and sheets, and the arrangement of the smooth muscle is like that the tapering end of one fiber is making a position with the thicker portion of the adjacent or neighboring cell like this, and in this way they are collected together in the form of this band and sheet. So this is a muscle fiber, which is a spindle shaped cell with two tapering ends, and here lies a central thicker portion which contains this oval nucleus, and these type of muscles are present in the hollow viscera. This is the small intestine or the large intestine. So you can see the smooth muscles. This is the slide. You can see the skeletal muscles. The skeletal muscles are present in the form of a bundle. All these are the skeletal muscles. Can you see the skeletal muscle fiber is very long, it is cylindrical, it has got these peripheral nuclei, and there are alternating darker and lighter bands which are the A bands and I bands, and this gives the skeletal muscle this striated appearance. You can identify these under the microscope. This is the microscopic picture. This is the slide of the skeletal muscle, and here lies the cardiac muscle. You can see the cardiac muscles are running in this way, and these muscles, they have got, these are the nuclei, and can you see these lines over the surface of this act as a syncytium. The cardiac muscles are so tightly bound, and they have got branched muscles. The branchings are together, giving rise to a syncytial appearance. So these muscles, they contract at the same time. That is, the atria contracts at the same time, ventricles contract at the same time, and these lines are known as the intercalated discs. This is a slide which can indicate you, these are the smooth muscles, a band or sheet of the smooth muscles. And if we talk about an individual smooth muscle, you can see this individual smooth muscle, which is a spindle shaped cell, fusiform in appearance. These muscles are 3 to 8 microns in diameter, and they are 20 to 200 microns in length. But the longest smooth muscles are present in the case of the pregnant uterus. During the pregnancy, there is hypertrophy of the smooth muscles of the uterus, and they can attain a length of 500 microns. So the longest smooth muscles are present in the uterus at the time of pregnancy. So this was about the muscles. آج میں نے آپ کے سامنے جو ایک تلاوت کی ہے، ایک دعا ہے، بسم اللہ الذی لا یضر مع اسمہ شیء فی الارض ولا فی السماء وہو السمیع العلیم. نبی پاک صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کا فرمان ہے، جس کا مفہوم ہے کہ جو شخص صبح بیدار ہوتے ہی 3 دفعہ یہ دعا پڑھ لے تو سارا دن اللہ تعالیٰ نے اس کی حفاظت کا وعدہ کر رکھا ہے. اور اسی طرح اگر شام کو یہ دعا 3 دفعہ پڑھ لی جائے تو ساری رات وہ انسان جو ہے ہر قسم کی بلاؤں اور تکلیفوں سے محفوظ رہتا ہے. تو ہم بڑے اطمینان کے ساتھ اور بڑے ہی پختہ ایمان کے ساتھ یہ یقین کرتے ہوئے کہ اللہ کے نبی صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے جو کچھ فرمایا ہے یہ بین ہی حق اور سچ ہے، اگر ہم ان پر عمل کریں گے تو یقیناً ہم ہر قسم کی مصیبت اور تکلیف سے بچیں گے. اور اسپیشلی آج کل جب کہ کرونا وائرس جو ہے اس کا دورہ ہے اور ہم سب ڈرے ہوئے ہیں، سہمے ہوئے ہیں، سائیکولوجیکل پرابلمز میں مبتلا ہیں، تو ہمیں یہ ان چیزوں کا بھی اہتمام کرنا چاہیے. اور ساتھ ساتھ اللہ کے نبی صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے ہمیں احتیاطی تدابیر اختیار کرنے کا بھی حکم دے رکھا ہے. تو چنانچہ آپ نے سنا ہوگا میرے بچوں کہ نبی پاک صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کا فرمان ہے کہ جس جگہ پہ کوئی وبا، ان دنوں میں طاعون کی وبا پھیلی تھی، تو آپ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے فرمایا کہ جو لوگ اس بستی میں ہیں نہ تو وہاں سے کوئی آئے اور نہ وہاں کوئی جائے. دس از کال دی آئسولیشن، دس از کال دی کوارنٹین. سو 1441-42 سال پہلے ہمارے نبی پاک صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے ہمیں یہ تمام سائنسی معلومات جو ہے فراہم کر دی تھیں. حالانکہ یہ ٹاپک نہیں تھا، انبیاء کا ٹاپک سائنس نہیں ہوتی. انبیاء جو ہیں وہ لوگوں کو اللہ کے ساتھ جوڑتے ہیں، وہ ایسا علم لے کے آتے ہیں جس سے انسان جو ہے وہ اللہ کے ساتھ رابطہ استوار کر سکے. لیکن اس کے باوجود نبی ہوتا ہے، وہ ہمیں ہر چیز کا طریقہ سکھاتا ہے. مجھے فخر ہے کہ ہمارے نبی پاک صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے ہمیں تھوکنے سے لے کر حکومت کرنے تک تمام ہم تعلیمات جو ہیں وہ عطا فرمائی ہیں، تو ہمیں ان پر عمل کرنا چاہیے.